Trail Series started as really plugging into a sport which had not started at grassroots level. It started at a much higher, much longer, much harder end. So the ethos was purely around getting people motivated about this amazing sport, getting people outdoors, getting people into nature, getting them adventurous, getting them a desire to explore and to go and experience so much more than just running. It's the combination of running and beautiful scenery and beautiful places that makes the Trail Series successful.
So I think the ethos of trail running and the Spur Trail Series is definitely centered on family. Family and fun are the two main themes that you'll find in the series. So I think as a broad market, it caters from the ages of 6 to age 80, where mums, dads, grandparents, family, friends, they can all come down on a Sunday morning. It's over quick as a flash. You know, you're there, you register, you run, prize giving, done. So there's enough time for everyone to sort of enjoy it, and then enough time to enjoy the day afterwards with your friends, family.
Dragged my mate here in, he's doing it with me, and I got my boot running as well, so it's nice meeting new people, constantly like overtaking, hopping around people, they overtake us, it's good fun.
The best way to get into the sport, without a doubt. I mean, everyone's quite interested and excited to get into trail running and get into more adventurous and outdoor stuff, and this is just the best way possible to do it. It's a really cool vibe. You can be serious, you can be fast, you can be slow, you can be whatever you want, and it's really just the best way for anyone to get involved, no matter how fast you are, no matter who you are.
The Trail Series is a series of races, so it's not just a once-off, check it off and go home. It's go and do one race and then try and improve, and each venue, each race being so different venue, different amount of climb, different technical aspects of the trail, and all these things make it just so exciting. It's a wonderful sort of spiral effect of emotion and ambition and drive and excitement and adventure. It's a wonderful thing.
Nice people, nice vibes, a lot better than road running, and yeah, it's awesome. In nature, getting into contact with like your endorphins and nature and everything, so epic.
The Spur Trail Series is a nationwide collection of races in 3 of the major cities in South Africa, starting in Cape Town, where it originated. You have the Spur Cape Summer Trail Series as well as the Spur Cape Winter Trail Series. In Gauteng we have likewise 2 similar series, the Spur Gauteng Summer Trail Series, which takes place in November, December, and the Spur Gauteng Winter Trail Series, which takes place every weekend in June. And then of course we go down to KZN for one trail series, and that will be in October.
At the core of the Spur Trail Series is a series of races, and there's always 4 races in a series. And in a series there's either a short course challenge or a long course championship. The short course is 5 to 8 Ks, and the championship course being 10 to 15 Ks. And its consistency counts. And out of the 4 races, you're allowed 1 discard. So you've had a really rough night on Saturday night and you pitch up and you have an awful race, that's okay, you can discard that one. So you end up with your 3 best results over the series, and that gives you a point score, and those points then give you a leaderboard, and really that's where the consistency counts. But what is nice is that, you know, someone who's aspiring to check off a 5 to 8 kilometer run then has to think, oh, I've got to do 4 of these or 3 of these to finish a series, and that's when, only then do we give them a medal to say you completed the Spur Trail Series. And that's important, it's something beyond just a single race.
For this year's 2015 edition of the Spur Cape Summer Trail Series, we introduced batch starting. You enter online, you choose a batch, so it's up to you as a runner to think, am I in the top 25% of the running field? If you are, you'll pick your first batch, the batch A. Then 2 minutes later, we start in waves of 2 minutes, and it'll be batch B, and that's those guys and girls who will finish overall between 25 to 50% of the finishing group. Then sort of the back end guys that are not too concerned about their time, it gives the guys a chance to sort of experience the trail that's not too congested, there's not too many people out there. Each wave is running at their own pace. So the quickest guys are off first, you know, the next batch, the next batch, the next batch. So the Spur Cape Summer Trail Series this year started with 2 Wednesday evening events. And we can do that because, you know, the sun sets at around 8 o'clock, it's still warm enough, it's beautiful conditions, so guys and girls and families, they can come out, run for an hour, hour and a half, be done, be home for dinner time, for the kids to do their homework, wrap up. So a nice sort of element right at the beginning of the year.
So the nice thing about the evening races, obviously we get to have headlamps, so it makes it a bit more interesting when the sun sets. There's quite often some good war stories told about taking a couple of tumbles here and there, but it's nice. It's a different dynamic versus the early morning runs. So also it's nice to put your body in a different kind of comfort zone when you're racing in the evenings versus racing in the morning.
So we start off with the Spur Cape Summer Trail Series with Tygerberg, which is the one everybody loves to hate. It's got an enormous hill right in the beginning that forces everyone except Bernard Ricazza to walk. I'm convinced. It is steep, it's through the forest, everybody hates it. But every year we get more and more people coming back, and the same people who are moaning about it come back. There's something special about it. You go out of the blocks and you're up onto Tygerberg Hill, but you're on this ridge line that you've got views right over Table Bay, Table Mountain, some of the most magnificent views in Cape Town. You know, you're right in the city. There's something magical about running on beautiful trails with these magnificent views that you don't see every day in Cape Town. But you're on these awesome single track. And it's an evening race, so you get to see the sun going down over Table Bay. There's something really special about that. And it's close. I think the accessibility of Tygerberg makes it something quite special as well.
Man, I'm a bit tense. You know, it's early days of this new year, and I've got great expectation. But people tell me this trail is just up and up and up. There's no down. So I don't know where we're going to end.
Moving on to the second race of the series, that's at the Constantia Greenbelt and also on a Wednesday evening. And that's sort of a very fast course through the forest sections, through the contours of Constantia and Tokai. And the defining point there, I think, is just that the quickness of the course and how easy the trail sort of undulates. You start off with a bit of a nasty climb, but from then on it's all flat and pretty downhill, snaking through the Alphen Greenbelt and back to the finish. Race 3 takes place on Sunday, and that's in the Elgin Valley at Lebanon Forest. And there I think the big thing is the mountain-backed single tracks, which guys enjoy. There's one short technical climb. It's probably the most technical of the 4 races, as well as some magical forest single track and switchbacks, which guys enjoy, running past the dam and finishing on a hill.
With this one, especially after the 5.5k mark, then it's pretty much downhill. But also you're running on single track, so it's very much like, well, bobsled for the legs basically. So if you're a speedster, it's quite nice.
The final of the Spur Cape Summer Trail Series is at Oak Valley, and it's the cream on the top of the cake. I mean, it's just this stunning venue with some of the best mountain biking trails in the Western Cape. They close the gates for trail running only, and from where you start, you're into, you know, Oak Valley farm land, mixture of orchards and open fields and beautiful oak forests between dams, these custom-made trails through the pine forest. It's just a really feel-good run. It's the end of the series. You've worked hard, and everyone, you know, Lebanon's slightly more technical, and now you come onto the smooth trail, and you just feel like $1 million. There isn't anyone who comes off Oak Valley and just says, I just feel great about life right now, because this just made me feel I'm a superstar.
So I think each race across the board has sort of different ideas and different sort of terrain to make it interesting. So you're not just racing race by race, going to the same sort of thing, the same jeep tracks, the same uphill, downhill. Each venue has their own little nuances that makes people want to come back, and they know that the next venue is going to be different. They don't know where the climb is, they don't know how much technical terrain there is, how much single track is, and each one is specifically designed to be different from the next. So the morning of a typical Spur Trail Series race starts off with, obviously, you know, the runner driving to the venue. How do you get there? The directions are very easily accessible on the website. And right before, you know, that last sort of road, we'll have our Trail Series parking signs directing you all the way in. And from there, you sort of follow the walk this way signs, which will lead you into the sort of the hub of the venue. And from there, we sort of give more than enough time for you to register. We try to plan 2.5 hours time to register. So if the race starts at 7 o'clock, we'll open registration at 5. So once you've picked up your number, you've zipped it onto your race vest, and then once the race starts, you know, from the gun, off they go onto the trails and sort of get back as fast as you can, I suppose. And once the runner gets back, we generally prize giving takes place when the majority of the field is in. So it gives guys and girls that maybe are not going to qualify for an overall prize a chance to drop their tear-off tag in the prize giving tub, and they can stand a chance to win a lucky draw prize. So it's a slick, quick operation. An hour and a half, 2 hours after the start of your run, you're sort of done, wrapped up, and off you go.
When you arrive at a Spur Trail series, it's an absolute abundance and burst of colour. There are so many different people, all different ages and races, from the tiny ones that are just learning about running to the real veterans who are super experienced. It's just a fun environment. It's got such a positive energy, and everyone is there because they're there to achieve something. They want to have fun with their friends and their family. It's just awesome.
Absolutely amazing. The vibe is awesome. Slightly cold and crisp. Some people call it fresh, but it's amazing. Awesome. I think it's going to be an awesome run. We're going to do the long one, and she's going to do the short run. It's her first trail series, so yeah, looking forward to it.
One of the really cool elements that we introduced this year with the Spur Cape Summer Trail Series is we do our pre-registration at the Protea Hotels, one of our partners, and this year we got the right to do the Trails in Motion World Tour screening, the very first one in South Africa. So we used the opportunity of registration to show this collection of international short clips, let's say, on various elements of trail running, spiritual, emotional, physical, but from all over the world. For some runners who come and do the trail series who are new to the trail running, to come into that environment and straight away be introduced to this global arena. I mean, and the beautiful thing with that is that the whole element of trail running that is all about the adventure, it doesn't necessarily have to be an event. It can be something that you're personally aspiring to. So the Trails in Motion World Tour really slotted in beautifully, and we look forward to rolling that out with our other series in Joburg and KZN in the coming year.
So I think the advantages of running and trail running in particular is that it's not a high maintenance sport. You don't need a lot of equipment, you don't need a lot of gear, and you can run pretty much anywhere. You don't need to be in the A team, you don't need to feel embarrassed or shy that you're starting out. You can run at your own pace, you can work your way up to becoming a better runner in your own time, and it's something that guys can actively see an improvement in. So if you're running with a watch or not a watch, if you're running a hill and you walk half, or you run the whole thing later on, and each individual sort of has their own sort of different dynamic. It's not a case of all your mates are in the A team and you're in the B team, you're sort of all together in one, and you might be slower or quicker, but you're all sort of out on exactly the same trails, doing the same run, experiencing the same thing.
In trail running, there aren't a lot of events that offer the opportunity for the whole family to do it. What's been so lacquer to see is, families all arrive, dad goes and runs the championship course, mum and daughter, son go and run the short course challenge. Some of these kids are super quick as well, and they take on the tall adults at the front as well. But the whole environment around that is just so beautiful, it's so healthy, it's families just, it doesn't matter about the result, it just matters that you're out there doing something, you're not just sitting at home playing on the iPad. There's so much more, and as a family you can just see they've got something to talk about on a Sunday afternoon around the Briar. It's like, oh Dad, I ran over this river, or geez, you remember that running through the trees, and and I think those are very precious moments, and something that certainly when we were kids and we were allowed to do that sort of thing, you look back on that and you go, it's just so, it makes such a difference in your life, even if you don't experience it at the time. Down the line you realize those sorts of things, those little elements of adventure can change a person's life.
I think it's contagious. I made a point that with every race I try and invite a new family member. My wife's joining me for the first time today. My brother was supposed to join me, he bailed, and I got my brother-in-law to join me instead. So yeah, bring the family along, it's for everyone.
I've actually brought them along with today, hoping that I'll inspire them to also run with me, perhaps with the Winter Trail series, and then maybe we'll all be running. They can all be doing the short courses, and then I'll move on to the long courses.
From starting with the junior section and the peewees and mini-me's in the Spur Trail series, our venues are set up and designed such that those guys are there when they rock up. The Spur jumping castle is there. Mum and dad don't need to worry about that. They'll have someone to look after them. They can go off and run, and it's a safe environment where there's crew control. There's a lot of spectators, beanbags, heaters, so it's a very comfortable environment to be in. It's not like you're on your own in the middle of the mountain and your husband or wife or kids gone off running. you're sort of there at the venue and it's safe and it's very easily accessible. So one of the unique elements of the Spur Trail Series is that we have a prize giving that caters for a whole host of categories, from opens to seniors, to veterans, to masters, to juniors, to mini-me's, which are the guys and girls aged 10 to 14, to the pee-wees, which are from 6 to 9. So it's a nice way to sort of get the competition going. It's a nice way to sort of reward guys and girls who are coming out for racing four races. So at the end of the prize giving, Bernard Riccardo will walk away with prize money, with a nice handmade beaded trophy that we get from a local guy downtown, and sort of a brand new pair of Adidas shoes. So there's enough of incentive there for guys and girls to go, hey, it's a nice, quick, easy Sunday morning, but there's something at the end of the line for us.
The elite field use the Spur Trail Series as a means to really charge up that anaerobic capacity to run hard and fast for not as long as they used to. But it really is a big competition in that 10 to 15 kilometers, which is inspiring a whole generation behind them as well. We've got a young guy coming through now who's just entered the senior category, and he's coming second and third in the races, and it's just so amazing to see that follow through and how important it is to have the elites still taking this relatively short distance for them, 10 to 15k, seriously. Big names at the end of this Spur Cape Summer Trail Series. Bernard clocking up his 6th championship win in a row. Right behind him, Raiden Bali. I mean, he's the youngster who's come through from the juniors last year, and he is just absolutely taking the trail series by storm at the moment. In the ladies' race, Katja has been very, very strong for a number of years now, and it was great to see her back on fire and taking 4 wins in the series. So, lots of young ladies coming through as well. The Leslie sisters. There's lots of talent coming through, but at the end, the top end, it's the same trusted names that are managing to defend their titles. The racing is there, and it's inspiring to see. And as I say, it really sucks in the generations behind them. Before, the impact of short course running introducing people to the sport was really the place of bearded mountain men with their mates who wanted more out of hiking and were doing fast trails, and there was a small pool of similar-minded people who were tackling these big mountains and doing some fantastic things. But it was always the same sense of adventure that's come right the way through. And really the seed of that short course running suddenly buoyed up this sport. Suddenly there was so much fever and interest, and there were only 32 races in South Africa back then, and now there are over 500, and it just shows, it's just the trail running community has this need to go and explore. Now they've tasted the sugar, they want to go out and they want to see what's around the next corner, and it's this amazing fever that's sort of spread through running in South Africa. And it's the combination of the physical element, the mental element, and the natural element that comes in this beautiful boiling pot of the sense of adventure that we all need, in this humdrum of life. These little pockets of adventure give us open another window into something we wouldn't otherwise do.
Takes you to places you wouldn't usually go to. It gets you out at this time of the morning, in this weather, in this cold, but it's so worth it. It's utter bliss. You enjoy so much and get so much out of it.
The ultimate goal is that guys are picking up from where they left off with the Spur Trail Series, and that's living a healthier lifestyle, engaging more with nature, engaging more with people, and sort of being happier individuals.
We sparked that sense of adventure, and then so what do I do next? And the Trail Series, we've been very careful to introduce people to the idea that trail running isn't like a road run where you go to a road run and you do 39 minutes for a 10k, and you're going to go do the same time at another 10k. It doesn't work in trail. Trail, you do 10k here and it's going to take you 2 hours. You go to do 10k there, it's going to take you an hour. It's just the way the sport is. There's so many elements that come into play, and in that is a sense of responsibility, because from there they go on to do other races. So hence we don't have water tables in the Trail Series, because when you go on to do a harder run or a longer run or a mountain run where you've got to be self-sustained, you can't come from a short course and be handed sachets every 5k's to go on and do a 30k mountain run eventually in your career and expecting the same. It just doesn't, that's not what trail running is about. Trail running is about being in nature, being self-sufficient, being outdoors, and being connected with where you are, having that sense of adventure. And so Trail Series is that starting point, it's that ignition, it's the fire, and then from there, within Wild Runner, you can go on and do the Mountain Challenge series. That's kind of the next step up. It's the longer, harder, more technical, more mountain, more out there, more wilderness. And from there, the experiences, get bigger and get broader and get harder and get longer. From the Mountain Challenge series, go up and do a stage race. Stage race, you're having to do 35 Ks and get up and do it again the next day, and then get up and do it the next day. And then you learn something even more about yourself and about the people around you and the relationships and the experiences and adventure you have when you have hardship over a number of days. The whole excitement of trail running is all about what's your next adventure.
Well, this is the first time I've competed, so for me, sort of 6 months into my running, I think this is sort of really helping to take it to the next level, and with every race in the series I've been able to progress and improve, so I've really seen the value of it.
I think it's a great way to sort of push yourself a little bit. We kind of just jumped right in. We signed up for all these races without really any training. And we struggled for the first couple of races, but then you get into the swing of things and it's just such a good fun. The people that we were running with are always good and very friendly. So yeah, we really enjoy it.
So Trail Series is very privileged to have Spur on board as a title sponsor. They fit very well in with the ethos of the Trail Series, the sort of the family element, the fun part of it, the accessibility of it all. So having them as the headline sponsor really ties in well with what we're trying to achieve, and that's to bring families together out on a morning, Sunday morning or Wednesday evening. They can have fun with the kids, and Spur's ethos, I believe, ties in very well with that.
So Spur Steak Ranch's motto is people with a taste for life. And if you come to a Spur Trail Series, that's exactly what you're going to see. There's really no other way around it. It's people who are there to enjoy life. They want to get into the outdoors. They want to experience new things, explore, have fun. So that's why the collaboration is so important to us, and we are so proud of our association and our naming rights sponsorship.
And of course, Adidas, global brands, super bunch of guys, and they really have been amazing with their product support and the shoes and the spot prizes, and they really have been fantastic. Then we've got Boss Sport. I must say, this is now the second year I've been able to run the series myself, and I start thinking about that Boss Sport about a third of the way into the race. Knowing you get to the finish line and there's going to be an ice cold Boss Sport handed to you in the finish line, and it really is amazing. And then Protea Hotels, they really look after us when we travel around the country and locally as well, with our registrations and hosting the Trails in Motion World Tour. Graham Beck, who do the champagne for us at the prize giving table. Again, just little things that really go a long way. The sponsors just in their own elements and their own expertise have added so much weight to the perception and the success of the series, the Trail Series as a whole. And we're very pleased, Spur are agreeing to take on another few years as well, and they're very happy with the way everything's gone. So we're just so excited about the coming years and where this series is going to grow to. It's been another fantastic Spur Cape Summer Trail Series. I can't believe we're in our 8th season already. 8 years ago we started off with the pure idea of trail running just being such an amazing sport, and I think fundamentally the success of the Trail Series and how it's grown over the years has been testimony to just the adventure and the sense of excitement that comes from runners getting out and doing something adventurous. Next up in the Cape, the Spur Cape Winter Trail Series kicking off in July, August. At 4 different venues.
From Kleinmond, where you have the seaside town, you have the mountains of Kleinmond, you have the Paul Kluwer, which is a magnificent wine farm touching the Groenlandberg Mountains. You have Paul Rock, which is unique. Not many guys and girls would go out to Paul and go to Paul Rock, but you run through the rock bands there. And then you also have the Tygerberg Nature Reserve run again, which this time is in the morning of a Sunday and not on a Wednesday evening. So that's also something completely different. So at Cape Town, we've got 4 months to prepare. Get yourselves ready. Check out trailseries.co.za. You can find out all the information there, the route maps, the times, the venues, how to get there, what's going on, and just keep in touch on Facebook and Twitter as well.
Wow, you need to experience it. It's difficult to explain it. The only way that it can be explained is if you're brought along here and also running it. It's unbelievable. Your day just changes, your weekend changes. It just makes you so amped for the next one as well.
I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I don't know if I'm gonna make it out alive. Are we not taking anything like grapes? No. Leave it, hey, we'll be fine. Okay, we're gonna do the long race. I've done the 2 short ones. Where's my car keys? Oh, you've got them. I've done the 2 short ones. With the camera.